Hi, and welcome to this tutorial on creating a blog post in WordPress. And I'm going to be just going through a few different options and different styling and just a few of the goodies that that you can implement with your posts. So I'm going to start by creating a new post. So I'm already logged into WordPress. Here is the design of the website, and here are a few posts that we've already finished formatting. So you can either create a new post from here, or you can go to the dashboard and you can go to posts, click add new, or you can click on the new button here and click new post. Okay, so here's a new post page. The title for this particular post, I'm going to say how to create a post on your WordPress website or blog. That's quite a long title. And then what happens is when you create that title, WordPress automatically creates a URL so that this particular post will have a unique URL that people can visit. For me, this is quite a long URL, so let's just shorten it slightly. And change it to OK. For this particular WordPress website and theme that we're using, it's called Upfront. They actually have different types of post types. So there's gallery, link, image, quote, video, and audio. For the purpose of this tutorial, we are just going to do standard, as you'll be using that in more cases than not. But you're more than welcome to just, play around with these options here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add an image. So click on, let's just go back for a second. First, you have to click into this WordPress editor, and then we're going to click add image, and I'm going to upload a new file from the desktop and use this image of me working on a WordPress website. When you're uploading new images to your website, always look at this section here on the right before inserting it into the post. You can do things like change the title of the image. Editing this section here is just really helpful for SEO. When you should have a keyword for your post. So for our post, our keyword is how to add posts in WordPress website. So try and align your images, or the title and the alt text of your images, to that post title, or to what that post is about. So I'm going to call this creating a WordPress blog post at the Durban beachfront. And I'll just copy that and change it to alt, and also paste it into the alt text section. I also want a caption for this image to show on the website. The title and the alt text won't actually show up on the website. They're just more on the back end for Google to help find the image. when people are searching through Google search. And don't worry about description. You don't have to have a caption here, but if you want some text to appear over the image, then you do need to add a caption. I want this to be aligned to the center, and I don't want it to link to anything basically. When someone hovers over the image, I don't want them to be able to click into anything, so I'll click none. And here you can choose the size that it displays at. I want it to be full size because it's right at the start of the post, and then just insert. And we can see here's our caption. So to just start writing underneath, just click enter, and then we will just enter some text. So I'm going to paste in some text here that I had got from another website, and I'm just going to give it some different paragraphs. So that might be the subheading for my post. I can choose to have this above the image, which I am going to do. So you can either copy it and paste it to the top, or you can literally highlight the text and drag it slowly to the top. Which didn't seem to work, so I'm just going to copy and paste. And I'm just going to click here on the left of the image. Okay, it's not cooperating, so let me just, I'm just going to highlight the image and I'm going to move that underneath. Okay. Okay, starting to get a bit messy here, but that's okay. So I'm just going to copy this text again and just remove any formatting that it's collected. I can see now it's also indented, which I don't want, so I'm just going to click on the decrease indent tool, and now I've noticed that the caption's gone from this image, so I just want to add that again. So you can see how I've done that there, and I want this to be centered again. Okay, so I want this subheading to be a bit bigger than the other text, so just highlight the text and click on the heading size you want. Heading 1 will be the biggest and heading 6 will be the smallest. So let's go for heading 3, because remember this is a subheading. This is the heading for the blog post, not this. This is a subheading. So the other way you can change it, if highlighting doesn't work for you, you can always just click on the left hand side of that paragraph and change the size. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to my text here, and I'm going to just create a new paragraph there. And for now, I also want to add a button. Not all WordPress websites does have a button shortcode, but for this theme up front, it does have a set of shortcodes. So if you want to add a button, like for example, a link to another page in your website, click on this plus symbol, add a shortcode and a button, and then you just have to type in what does the button say, go to website, and I'm going to have a link here called, so I'll just go to another website. Let's just use the homepage URL for strugglingmystic.com, and they've only got one color, so I'll insert that shortcode there, and there's our button. Then let's just say we're finished for now inserting the content for our post, but we want to set the edit the settings for this post. So I want this page to have a sidebar on the right hand side. You could choose to have it on the left or completely without the sidebar. The read length, this is just to help users give them an idea of how long the article is before they actually start reading it. So let's just say it is a 1 minute read. And you don't have to worry about this unless you want to share on Twitter. And then this is the visit count, the amount of people that have visited the site. And also, if you go to the website, this section here, this featured post, if you do want it to appear on featured posts, you need to add a URL of your post featured image. So then we've got the settings on the right hand side here. We do need to put it into a category. If we don't put it into a category, WordPress will automatically put it in uncategorized. So for now, I'm just going to put it in faith and life. Actually, I'm going to put it in music. And here if you need to add a new category, but be careful to do this, all you have to do is click add and then click type in the name of the category you want it to go into and then add. Tag section is like hashtags, so this just pull some highlighted words from this post. Let's just say Durban beachfront, and another one, so I'll just separate that with a comma. Let's just say WordPress blog, and I'll add those. And you can always remove them just by clicking the X symbol here. And then the last thing we want to do is add a featured image. So for this post, I'm going to use the same image that we used inside the post. Click set. And if you want to go back to this section here, the top 10 settings, which as I said before was this featured posts section, you need to put in the URL of the image. So all we have to do is click on this featured image and it's selected, so it's good I can see the URL. Just copy this whole URL and then paste it here. Then I'm going to publish. If you don't want to publish it, or if you want to preview it, or if you just want to save it for a later release or later publication, you can save it and it won't appear on the website, and then publish at a later date. So you can also preview the post before even you can see what it's going to look like without even saving it or publishing it. So I'll right click, click open link in a new tab, and then it's going to show us exactly what this post is looking like. Okay, there's our caption, it's our text, and our button that we added. Okay, so it's looking okay, but I can see that this subheading is not how I envisaged it. It's got some strange styling on it, so I'm gonna have to go into the post and just see why that's not working. I'll highlight it, and I'm just going to remove the formatting, and I'm going to click on pre-formatted, and then go back to, the first thing you do is clear formatting with a rubber tool, and then you can just change the format to pre-formatted, which once again gets rid of the formatting, and then just go ahead and add it back to what you want to do. So let's go heading 3. And you can always, if it's still not working, you can always toggle to the text, or let's just say the actual code, and you can see here's our heading, but you can see there's some really strange code before it. What it's done is it's adding a caption, because initially we tried to move it from here to there, and it just kind of messed us up. So let's just remove that and add it again. So let me just add this subheading here, and I want to go to the top of the post. Okay, this is not going well, but let me see how else I can do it. What I'll do is I'll just remove this completely, this image, and once again I'll just remove this text. Okay, it's still giving me the caption, so let's see how we can do that fix. Okay, unfortunately, sometimes the only thing you can do, WordPress can be a bit fiddly, so unfortunately in this case, the only thing you can do short of restarting the whole post is just toggle to your text button here. Don't be too alarmed with what you're seeing here. It looks a bit scary because there's a bit of code, but all you have to know is that anything within brackets, you can, within these triangle brackets, you can move, and that's what's creating this strange indent and styling on this heading that we wanted. So our paragraph starts at ut enim ad minim, so I can just remove anything before that, and that's going to remove that weird formatting. Okay, so I want this to be our heading, sorry, our subheading, so I'll just highlight it and change it to heading 3. Then underneath, then I'll just create a space to add my image, which we already uploaded, and it's already got the caption. And unfortunately, I forgot to check if it was linking to it's linking to anything. But I'm gonna publish this post and show you what that looks like. And then that's saved, so and published as well. So I'll just right click here on view post, or you can right click here on view post, or you can also just right click here and preview changes. So I'm just gonna do that one at the top there. Okay. So there's our post. Here's our 2 paragraphs and also our go to website button. So if we click on this button, it's going to take us back to our home page. So if I click back, as I mentioned before, we forgot to remove the linked on the image. So if I click on that image, it takes me to the URL for this particular image, which is not very nice for users, which means they have to now click back just to go to the post. So you don't want people leaving the website just for that that mistake. I also don't like how this text is appearing above this image, so I'm actually going to swap them around. So I'm just going to copy this text and remove that, and I'm going to click it, put my cursor here, go back up and paste. And I also want this headline to be a little bit shorter, and I'm also going to change it to a heading 4. I think it'll be nicer. Okay, so remember the link story, we don't want this to link to anything anymore. So I'm going to click on the link. I'm going to click on the image and just click on this insert edit link button. And I'm going to what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel that and just click on this button, which is remove link completely. The other thing I didn't like, no, that's fine. So maybe another thing I want to add on this post is, I want to add a bit of space between, I want to add an image in this paragraph, and I want it to be right aligned. So all I have to do is go back to the start of this paragraph, click right on the left hand side of it, and click add media. And let's say I want to add this nice picture here. Well, let's use this one because it's a full size picture. But I don't want this to have a caption, and I don't want it to link to anything, and I want it aligned right this time, remember. So if I insert that, and that's perfect. That's exactly where I wanted it. The other thing I didn't like is how close this button was to this little bit of code, this little bit of text here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to where we created the button on the post and just press enter. Now I'm going to update this and see how those changes have been reflected. I'll just refresh this page. And this is all looking good. What I don't like is I don't like how close this sentence is to this image. So I'm going to go back to the editor and I'm just going to press enter after that. And then here is the image right aligned, and that's the basics of how to create a post. I'm also going to just cover a few other nice little features. At the moment, you can see it's not actually appearing on this featured post section. So in order to get it to feature here on this featured post section on the sidebar, we're going to have to put it in the feature. We're going to have to add it to the featured category. The other thing that's going to do is it's going to add it to your featured slider on the home page. So I'm going to do that momentarily. And another couple of things I want to do is, let's see what the page looks like with a left when the sidebar's on the left instead of the right. Okay, so here is the home page, and you can see now we've added it to the featured category. Anything in the featured category is going to appear on the home slider. And it's also going to appear, because it's the most recent featured post, it's also going to appear here as the first featured post. And it should also appear here. Okay, the reason why it's not showing is that this featured post section actually shows the posts that have the highest read count. So these posts have been viewed more times than the post we just created. But if this gains in popularity, it will then go onto this list automatically. So here's our updated post. Now I've got the sidebar on the left. And we also gave some space between the image and this heading or subheading. And everything's looking great. So I'm just going to quickly go into imagery that you use for the website. Really bad practice for uploading images to websites is to upload really high resolution images. You know, the maximum file size that you should be uploading of any image should be under 200 kilobytes. So for example, this image here that we uploaded was 99 kilobytes. So what I'm going to do is actually going to rather send you some other tutorials on ways that you can reduce the file size of your image so that you're not uploading really high resolution images to your website. A couple other things you can do with your post is you can create links. Let's just say you want to create a link to an offsite website. Let's say let's just say you want to you've got this really cool website that you want people to know about, and in your text you mention it, so then all you have to do is highlight the text and click on the insert link button. Paste the URL and make sure you click on this open link in a new tab. That's really important because when someone clicks on the link button, it opens a new tab so that they've still got your website open. So that's a super important thing to take into consideration. And then we'll add the link, and I want to bold some text, so let's bold some text. And I can underline, I can change the color of some text here. Let's make it red. I can also change the background color of text. Let's make it yellow. And I can add a block quote. So let's say I have a quote from a famous person. Just click on, either highlight the text or just click to the left of the text and click on this block quotes button. If you want to centralize some text, I'm just going to paste this here, or write a line, or if you want to make a list, then you can do that too. There's bullet points. Here's write aligned, centered, or you can even have it justified so that it's more of a block style text. You can indent it. So I really want to indent this text. You can also add an underline. Or a horizontal line. And you can also change the font family and the font size. And a few other things. You can even add a smiley if you like. Let's undo that and update. Refresh this page so we can see what it's looking like. So here's all the changes we made to the text. It's looking a bit messy, but you can use your discretion as to how you use this text. Okay, and that's all there is for this tutorial. Thanks for watching. And if you need any more help, you can check out my other tutorials, or you can just contact me at www.danielscafturos.co.za.